is time for another G.I. Joe toy review. We are closing out Arctic month. This is my last review for the year, so I want to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas. Thank you all for your patronage, for watching my videos, for sharing my videos, for liking and commenting. This channel would not be here if it weren't for you guys, and for that I am truly grateful. You are a great bunch of people. I think I have the best group out there, best viewers out there. Seriously, you guys rock. I really appreciate it. So today we're going to be looking at the 1988 Blizzard version 1. He was released as a part of the 7th series. He was on the shelves from 88 to 89. Then he was discontinued in 1990. So he had a one-year production run, but he was still on the pegs back in 1990. I remember seeing, I purchased mine around that time at a KB toy store outlet. It was a KB outlet, so they had a bunch of stuff in there, and actually that's where I bought a lot of my G.I. Joes from 88 to 90 was at that KB toy outlet. They had a lot of the overstock from other stores, and so that's how I know he was out on the pegs at that time. He sold for $2.55. Not bad at all for its time. Interesting thing about Blizzard here, all the overstock Blizzards were released in 92 and 93, and get this, they ended up as skee ball prizes at Chuck E. Cheese, arcades, and carnivals around the country. They weren't carded, they were bagged, and I hope this works. I'm going to show you an example of it. Yeah, so if that pops up, I will know during editing, but just in case, it came bagged, had a little insert with it, and the weapons came, his accessories came in another bag. That is a first for me. I had no idea about that until I reviewed this guy, so I'm going to ask HCC788 and Formbx, the godfathers of G.I. Joe toy reviews in my opinion, if they knew about this. Formbx reviewed him, so I'm going to have to go back through. He may have mentioned that, but I doubt it. He doesn't get real in-depth with the background history of the action figure as HCC does. Formbx, I'm not dissing Formbx in any way at all. He keeps his videos at anywhere from 10 to 15, sometimes 20 minutes depending. Excuse me. So he keeps them really short, and at the end of his video he'll do a stop motion video. He is a master at that, of the action figure that he reviewed in the stop motion videos. So his card, there was a variant on the card back. It had the Super Trooper. One was just a plain card back, and the other one had a advertisement for a Super Trooper, which I do have an example of the Super Trooper to show you. And he was released internationally. He was released in Europe and the UK as a Tiger Force Blizzard, and my gosh, would I love to get my hands on one of those. But at today's market prices, it's going to be a while before I could afford to buy one of those. Oh, he looks really, really sharp. Tiger Force needed another Arctic figure, so let me see if I can find it before I block the camera. Put up another example of that for you. And he did have a few media appearances, not many. I didn't see anything about Deke and thank goodness, because they may have ruined a really good figure. He showed up in the IDW run of G.I. Joe comic, issue number 188. It shows him on the comic. He's holding up his machine gun. He's gonna smash. It's a good piece of comic art. I'll see if I can get that to work too. So yeah, it looked like he's going to smash a snow serpent with the butt of his rifle. Pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get into this review. I've been anxious to do this one, so I figured I would. So many really good Arctic figures out there, so I figured I'd wrap this year up with one of the better ones, at least better by the amount of accessories he came with. Alright, so here he is, Blizzard in all of his glory, and they did advertise for the Super Trooper on his card. I don't have the gun for Super Trooper, not as of yet, but he came with this shield, which really doesn't make much sense. What I really want to point out is the handle is vertical on this one. But the Alley Viper that came out a year later, the handle is horizontal. Why couldn't they have used this handle on the Alley Viper shield? In order to get him to hold the shield right, you have to bend his hand, and I really don't like that. But his shield is cool anyway. So if you ever wondered what Super Trooper looked like without his armor, there you go. Green t-shirt on underneath, just a few dots of glue on both sides. I'm not going to review him, so I won't get into it further. But his armor snaps together like the old Masters Universe armor. Pretty cool. So let's just set him off to the side. So Blizzard was not the first G.I. Joe to come out on skis. That honor goes to Snow Job. Pointed that out before with his backpack, where his skis fit onto the backpack. Hasbro upped the game with Blizzard, and when I get into the review I will show that to you. So Snow Job skis fit onto his backpack, and it somewhat works like a sled. But that's not it. That's not all for the ski G.I. Joes. Street Fighter released. I reviewed this guy already. Street Fighter line, they released an Arctic Guile. Same uniform as Blizzard, just repainted. Guile came with some accessories that really did not make any sense at all. He came with this air tank. Okay, if he's going to go up to Mount Everest, he'll need oxygen. But they took the air tank from Deep Six version 2. They even used his buoy. Why? Does not make sense. They didn't even sell him with a hose for the buoy. And they gave him a rocket launcher, and that was it. He didn't have any other weapons, any other accessories. These skis are really cool. I used them with Iceberg. So when I display Iceberg, I put them on the skis. So yeah, they're Street Fighter Guile. If you guys haven't seen that review, here he is. Now, I did not find anything on yojo.com about him, so I think he came out about 93 or 94. But Blizzard was one of many G.I. Joes, but Cobra only had these two. They had the 85 Snow Serpent, who was the direct response to Snow Job, but that was 2 years later. So at that time, G.I. Joe still had the upper hand out in the snow. So in '88, we got the Ice Viper with the Cobra Wolf. And the Cobra, or the Ice Viper, came with a pair of sai made of a very, very soft plastic. I only have one, which, you know, unless you're Michelangelo, you need two sai. Remember from the Ninja Turtle cartoons, he lost one of his sai. He's pretty upset about it. I would be too. But the sai really don't make much sense with him. Alright, let's go ahead and take a closer look at Blizzard. Oops, sorry about that. Start with his accessories, which he came with a lot of. Okay, set him off to the side. He came with a pair of ice shoes. You see that these guys are rigid. They're made for climbing, scaling ice walls. When he's not wearing them, I'll demonstrate on his backpack here. You see that he has holes right here. You can snap those into these holes and store on his backpack slash sled. Pretty cool. He did come with a pair of skis identical to the skis that came with Guile. Came with this really cool helmet. It's painted on blue goggles there. He has looks like a pair of headphones that are wrapped up in fur. Can't quite make sense out of those. And these cover his ears. And the way it covers his head, you can't really see his face, so he would make a pretty decent troop builder in my opinion. And his backpack came with these very easy to lose, that's the first time I ever pulled that out, easy to lose handlebars, which have these little brake grips on them. So make sure that he has these on the aftermarket. It's the first time in 20 plus years that I've pulled those out. I didn't know they came out until I saw Formbx's review on this. But his backpack has some very nice detail on it. It's padded. Looks like he has a little missile right here on the side. Radio antenna on there, but that's not what it is. Right along the ridge here on the side, if you can see that, I apologize for the poor lighting, but right underneath where the ice shoes fit, this is an ammo belt. So this is a machine gun. On the bottom, he has what looks like to be some sort of a jet propulsion system. There we go. Some sort of jet propulsion system on the bottom, but his skis attached to the bottom to make a sled. And I don't really, it's difficult to put his hands on those handles, but he's supposed to lay face down, and of course his feet up in the air, and he's holding on to the handles, so he looks something like that. And I had mentioned with Snowjob's backpack looking like a sled, I think they took that idea, just my opinion, and made this sled. So they improved on Snowjob's backpack. Not bad at all. Blizzard also came with this submachine gun. Looks like it has a collapsible stock on it, wrapped up in white cloth for additional camouflage. Has this looks like it could have been an Uzi. Has a magazine that fits down in the grip there, and on the back, if you see that little bump right here, that is a safety. So when you grip onto the weapon, kind of like on a 45, it activates, it acts like a safety for the trigger. And the trigger does not have a trigger guard, so it would be smart to have that grip safety on there. Barrel's pretty long. This is a nice little weapon. And he also came with a pistol, white pistol, again, wrapped up in this white cloth. It has some nice little detail here on the grip. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it has a hammer back here and a beaver tail on there to keep the hammer from slapping your hand. And I'm really not sure what they were going for with this, but I think that's a wide ejection port, so the shells will, so the brass will just shoot out to the side safely. Alrighty, so here's Blizzard himself. This is mine from when I was a kid. I purchased him with my paper route money. He is a little bit yellowed with age, but he has a lot going for him. On his left arm, he has a polar bear insignia on there. This looks like a snowsuit that he's wearing. Very nicely done with this guy. It has a hood that goes around his neck to pull up over his helmet. I think they were going for brown fuzz here down the front. He has a sculpted on knife, and they painted the knife and the sheath separately. And if you can see on the sheath, there's a little compartment on the sheath where it has a honing stone in it. The pilot survival knife came with one of those. And he has two suspenders go across his back on an H harness for his backpack. He has a generic belt with a canteen, all painted in gray. He has a carabiner sculpted onto the front there. Nice little buckle. And he has these weird pads on his legs there. I'm not sure what those are supposed to be. Closer look, it could be to hold cartridges in for ammunition. He has black knee pads. Very nice bonus on there. He also has this black band around his arm. Not sure what that's supposed to be. And wearing two brown gloves, padded knuckles so he doesn't rake them against things. And he has what appears to be a communications device or a watch on his hand, and brown boots covered with white spats. What I think is nice on a Street Fighter, I'm not a big Street Fighter guy. This is the only complete Street Fighter I own. I have pieces of Zangief, or Geef, whichever one you want to call him. But they painted that watch on there. Pretty cool. So, very nice sculpting on him. Very nice. Pretty decent looking face. You know, square jaw, tough guy. One of the better looking G.I. Joes out there. Blizzard's accessories were again used, go figure, out back in the 90s with Iceberg version 2. There is a slight difference. Iceberg, his accessories are a little more glossy than Blizzard's. They're easy to mix up, so watch out. He also came with the same pistol. Again, it's more glossy than Blizzard's. So that reuse I don't mind. They're good weapons. Alright, I went ahead and I don't have his file card, but what I did was copied this off of 3D Joe's. Now his file card reads codename Blizzard, Arctic Attack Soldier. His file name is Natalie Gregory M. Serial number 432442464. Primary military specialty Arctic warfare training instructor. So he took over that job from Snow Job. Secondary specialty military specialty infantry. Date of birthplace is Wolfboro, New Hampshire. He is an E7. Okay, so he's pretty high up there. Middle paragraph reads, Blizzard led an experimental security team based in Thule, Greenland for an entire winter. Their objective was to determine what kind of training and condition worked best to prepare men for combat in Arctic conditions. They found that training and conditioning had little effect. Only the hardest and meanest men made it through the course, and Blizzard was the hardest and meanest of the bunch. So, okay, hey, you would have to be to survive those conditions. And Sub-Zero was kind of the same way. He was pretty mean, but he just liked to be a jerk. Bottom paragraph reads, in quotes, the Arctic is totally unforgiving. You make one little mistake, you've had it. The cold makes you tired, and being tired makes you careless. And being careless makes you a statistic. Amen to that. Blizzard doesn't make mistakes, and he doesn't get careless. He wants to make the other guy the statistic. End quote. I have to agree with that. Trudging around in the snow does make you tired. You're wearing heavier clothing, you're wearing heavy boots hopefully. Just wading through the snow is exhausting, especially for us out here in Arizona. We have to go up into the mountains if we want to see snow, and the elevation change, the oxygen is a little thinner. It takes a little bit of time to acclimate, not too much. So let's go ahead and get into my favorite segment, fan favorite segment as well, Byron's Gripes. Okay, I scoured eBay. These are fixed prices. They're not, some of them have an or better offer, others don't. I don't quote auction prices due to the fluidity of those prices. So I only found one file card for him, $9.99. I am not upset with that one. $9.99 is pretty fair for Blizzard's file card, given his popularity. Despite him being a freaking door prize at Chuck E. Cheese. How they got those out there, I do not know. Somebody dropped the ball somewhere, and you know what? I never got a Blizzard from Chuck E. Cheese. Of course, I was like 15 at the time, so I'd just go for the pizza and video games and girls. But let's get back to the prices. Okay, complete with file card, $14.99 to $20. $14.99, yeah, I'll go with that. Seeing that, given the difficulty it is to find a complete backpack with the handlebars on there, yeah, it's pretty. $14.99 is a good price. $20, absolutely not, in my opinion. No, sir, would I pay $20 for him unless I really, really wanted him. But they're out on the market I wouldn't say a lot, but just be patient. You'll find one at a good price. Complete with no file card, $14 to $24.50. $24.50. Did you hit your head? Did you slip on the ice and hit your head? Are you oxygen deprived? Were you drinking a little too much of the special eggnog that Grandma makes every year? $24.50? Not saying that these people are bad. It's their toy. They could ask what they want for it, but $24.50, come on. Like I said before, if it has G.I. Joe on it, doesn't make it valuable. Come on, $24.50. That's without a file card. Okay, there are a couple of them out there complete with a full card back. One, I should say, sorry, my apologies. One with a full card back that's cut, but it's still a full card back. It has the file card with it. $22.98. Seeing that the file card is $9.99. No, that's still pretty high. I was just trying to do the math in my head. Still just a little bit too high, because $25 for the $14.99 complete with a $9.99 file card. Yeah, it might be a bargain. You know, this is $3 cheaper. But no, that's still too high in my opinion. Incomplete. Has a few accessories. It has the backpack, maybe a ski and a gun, no helmet. $9.50 to $10.75. Okay. If you have him and you're missing, or if you have his accessories and that has everything that you need, including the figure, yeah, maybe that's stretching it. No accessories, absolutely none. He's just a action figure, cart, a la carte, Blizzard a la carte. $9.95 to $10. Again, if you have the file card and you have the accessories and you need the action figure, okay, that might be a deal, but that's pretty thin. Snowshoes. Just one of them is $3. That's the only one I found out there. $3. I would pay it. I would pay $3 for that. Backpack. With the handlebars, $3.95. Yeah, go for it. It's pretty good. It's a good deal. Skis, a complete pair, $3. Okay, I'd go with that as well. One ski is $1. His machine gun, $2.50. Okay, not bad at all. Pistol, $2.50. Not bad. Not bad, but usually when people are selling just something small like that, watch the shipping, because they will sneak in that shipping to get more money out of you. So if you're buying one of these, it's less than an ounce. Don't pay $4 or $5 in shipping. It should be at least bare minimum $3 in shipping. Okay, so just a little word of caution to you guys. I hate to see people get ripped off. His helmet, $1.75. Pretty decent deal on that. But his helmet fits so snugly on the head that you'll find him with the helmet quite often. The hand grips right here, the handlebars, $2. Okay, $2 for one. That's okay. $4.95 for one. No sirree. I would not pay $5 for one unless, again, absolute needed. I was going to sell that action figure, but again, if I'm selling something and I need to complete it, I want to get the least expensive item out there, so I don't have to charge the person I'm selling a higher amount to recoup my cost on that. And I don't try to recoup shipping. That's just part of the deal. So $4.95, no man, it's just being greedy. Okay, a complete action figure. He's just missing his pistol. Deal of the day, my friends. Deal of the day, $7.50. And you pay $2.50 for the pistol. That's $10. That's cheaper than a complete one for $14.99. $10, man. Yes, jump all over that. Yeah, you're going to pay a little bit for the shipping, but I would still say that's a deal, man. It is. That I was really impressed when I saw that. Complete card back. Oh, pardon me, it threw up a little bit in my mouth. $25. That was nasty. God, I didn't really throw up in my mouth. No bad acting. $25. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Alright guys, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. It's Christmas Eve. You need to be spending time with your family instead of watching Joe Motion gripe about high prices. So again, have a very Merry Christmas. Please don't drink and drive. Please, it's not worth it. It really isn't. Transportation is cheap anymore. Really, with Uber or Lyft, or even cheaper, have a designated driver or spend the night at the place where you're going to be partying at. It's just not worth it, guys. It's not. Even if you feel like you could go home, you're safe to drive, don't. Because it'll ruin your life having a criminal record because you did drink and drive. You could severely ruin somebody else's. Okay, you can. Devastate a family, kill an entire family. So it's just not worth it. And I mean that to get morbid, yes. But on a lighter note, thank you guys again for tuning in. I really appreciate you. You are the best, the best, the best. I can't thank you enough. Please like this video. Give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. That way I know you're watching. Leave me a comment. I respond to all the comments. If I can't get to them right away, I do respond fairly quickly. So please leave me a comment. I would love to meet you through that way, and hopefully meet you out at Joe Fest. I do plan to be out there unless circumstances change for me this year, this coming year. And Be kind to animals. They're your family too. They have feelings. And they have emotions. So give your dog, cat, pet, bird, any pet you have, show them a little love. Alright. You guys have a great day. This is Joe Motion Videos 82 signing off. Bye-bye.